Picture this. You're ready to start a renovation, maybe it's an older house, and you hit a wall before you've even touched one. You have all these amazing ideas, but there's one giant problem. No blueprints, no floor plans, nothing. It's a way more common issue than you'd think, and it is incredibly frustrating. Today, we are diving deep into the unseen work that solves this exact problem.
Right? It's the classic situation. You want to move a wall, maybe add a bathroom, or just get a feel for the space you're working with, but the original architectural plans are totally gone. Without them, you're pretty much working blind. And let me tell you, that is a risky, risky place to be for any project, big or small.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into why this is such a common headache. Then we'll talk about the professional solution that basically saves the day. We'll even check out a company that has this down to a science, looking at the incredible tech they use to literally build the foundation for amazing designs. Let's get into it. Look, going forward without accurate plans isn't just a pain, it's a recipe for absolute disaster. Just imagine your contractor starts demolition for that beautiful, open-plan kitchen you've dreamed of, only to find a critical, load-bearing wall that wasn't on any of the sketches. I mean, that is a budget-destroying, project-halting nightmare. Every single professional needs a precise map of what's already there before they can even think about what comes next. So, how in the world do you create a map of a building that's been standing for decades, with all its little quirks and previous changes? Well, this is where a super specialized service comes into play, one that forms the bedrock of countless successful renovations. They're called measured drawings or sometimes as-built drawings. And yeah, the names pretty much say it all. They're brand new, incredibly accurate architectural plans that are created by meticulously measuring a building exactly as it stands today. They document a building's existing conditions, and that becomes the official, undeniable starting point for all future design, permitting, and construction. It's the ground truth. All right, so theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to take a look at a company that lives and breathes this stuff, Conceptarchitecturaldesigns. They've literally built their whole business around solving this one critical problem. Now, what's so interesting here is how they describe themselves. On places like Houzz and LinkedIn, they really crystallize their niche. They're not just general architects, they're specialists, a consulting company with a focus on measuring buildings' current conditions. You see, they view themselves as a partner to other pros, providing the essential hard data that architects and builders need to do their jobs right. Creating these drawings today is so much more than a tape measure and a pencil. Seriously, it's a high-tech process that blends on-the-ground surveying with some incredibly powerful digital software to create these amazingly detailed and useful models. And when you look at the services they offer, you really see how high-tech it's all become. I mean, we are talking about 3D laser scanners that capture millions of data points a second, creating a perfect digital twin of the space. We're talking about drones that can survey a building's complex exterior with unbelievable precision. All of this raw data then gets turned into these super detailed 3D models and intelligent BIM files that are just absolutely crucial for any modern design project. This right here shows the two powerhouse technologies at the heart of their work. On their profiles, they list excellence in Revit and AutoCAD. So think of it this way. AutoCAD is the gold standard for creating those precise 2D plans, the classic blueprint, just digitized. But Revit takes it to a whole other level. It creates an intelligent 3D model where every single element knows what it is. A wall knows it's a wall, a window knows its dimensions. It creates this rich data model of the entire building. So, who are the main customers for services this specialized? It's not just homeowners who've misplaced their blueprints. The demand is actually driven by a whole range of industry professionals. So, who's actually making the call to hire these folks? Well, it's not just the panicked homeowner. The vast majority, as you can see, are other pros in the business. We're talking architects who need a rock-solid starting point for their new vision, or developers who can't even think about breaking ground until they know exactly what they're dealing with. Even the people who manage and invest in buildings need these plans to make smart financial decisions. And the reasons why are incredibly broad. These plans are used to get permits for a simple home addition, to make sure a huge commercial building is up to code, to plan out complex renovations, and of course, to serve as that verified foundational starting point for a brand new design. It's truly an indispensable first step. And that really brings us to the bigger picture. This kind of work is rarely ever seen by the public. It's not the glamorous, finished design, but the thing is, without it, none of that glamour would even be possible. This quote, which comes directly from the company's website, just says it all, doesn't it? Their entire reason for being is to provide certainty in a field that's just filled with variables. They deliver the hard data, the ground truth, that allows creativity and construction to happen on a solid, totally reliable foundation. So the crucial takeaway here is this. Measured drawings are the invisible architecture behind the architecture that you actually see. This painstaking work of measuring and documenting what is the single most important step to making sure a project can successfully become what it's meant to be without any of those costly, terrible surprises along the way. It's a pretty fascinating thought, right? The next time you walk into any building, especially an older one that's been renovated, just take a second to consider the layers of unseen work that exist just beneath the surface. The measurements, the drawings, the digital models, all that hidden architecture that makes the very space around us possible.